Hi guys!
Welcome back to our YouTube channel.
Thank you so much for watching our last videos. I think we have about 20k as at the time I'm recording this video.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys.
I'm still in awe.
Thank you so much. Today's video we're talking about
what dating was like for us.
Yeah. So we're talking about what dating was like the whole 9, maybe not the whole 9 years, maybe like 7.
No, 5, 6. For maybe 3 years, you can see so close.
I was thinking you laugh at my joke, but you actually followed it. I like that. So we're talking about like now after you've said yes, so what comes next? Then to looking at negotiables and non-negotiables, asking the right questions. What do you do when you see turn-offs and differences?
Yeah, we're talking about boundaries as well.
Boundaries,
conflict and conflict resolution.
So you have to talk about that boundaries. You got so many questions about that.
Yeah.
So by boundaries is not like you know what we're talking about, sexual boundaries. Right?
And then we're going to be talking about, did we ever consider ending the relationship for whatever reason?
Yes. So much gist. But I think the first thing we're going to start with is a question we got from the last video.
Yeah.
So someone made a comment.
No, before then, we recorded the entire video, and when we had already finished and we were basically done, wanted to stop the recording and realized the thing had stopped halfway.
Yeah.
So we had to start again, and
yes,
it was crazy. So we missed out
quite a lot
of things we had said before.
Yeah, imagine
and this was a part of it.
Yeah, imagine at 11 p.m. recording videos and we were tired.
I was tired.
She was tired. She just got back from work and she was going to work the next morning. So, but just because of time, let's just get right into it. Yeah. So the question was
about the spiritual aspect.
Yes, person we didn't mention there was no God factor or the spiritual aspect. Did you pray about it? And actually, someone also asked that question on Instagram. We did a Q&A on our Instagram page at the Olita Boss, and someone said, "Did we hear from God? Saying that this is the person or this is not the person." So,
I think I was going to speak. Okay, particularly for me, I was confused. Not confused, but it felt like a lot. It felt like a big decision to make. So, of course, who else am I going to talk to? My daddy. So I prayed to God, and not I heard a voice from heaven saying, yes, go ahead, it's my son. No, of course not. But I just had this peace of mind. I remember I told God that, see, this is going to happen. Because I've always had this idea in my head that, if I'm going to get married, I mean, I know I'm young, but I should be earning this, that. I should have reached this level, in my life. And I saw things coming together, after I prayed about it. And yeah, I think that was it for me. How about you?
For me, first is over the years. Thanks, babe. Over the years, it has been primarily God speaks through His word, and the Bible already shows the qualities you should look for in a wife. Who a wife by biblical definition is. So I think that was first. I'm like, God has spoken to me what kind of wife I should marry. He has said she should be this, she should be this, she should be that. And you guys read all this Proverbs 31 and all these things. They were actually real cues for me. And so that was first. So when I saw her, I saw what God has told me in the Bible that I should look out for in her. So that was it for me. That was primarily. Then after that, of course, I prayed about it. And I didn't hear, she's the one, but I had this sense of peace. This inner witness. A lot of time people are talking about praying about it, they're expecting to hear, see a dream. See, if it is by dream, oh my God, the number of I've dreamt. The number of I've dreamt about it. So yeah, it wasn't dream, it was that inner witness. Just the same way God has spoken to me many times about other things. So I think that was it for me. So let's
we'll now get into the what dating was like video.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first question is the first point is asking the right questions.
Okay.
And I think what asking the right questions means is, what are the questions, basically?
Yeah.
So what are the questions, T?
Will you marry me? I'm joking. Okay, so it's let me give you a bit of. I'm not going to talk too long. Just to give a bit of background. I used to be this person that says, after you ask the person and they say yes, what comes next? Okay, now she's my girlfriend. What comes next? And it is building, like, staying together and making an informed decision for marriage and dating. So, what are the right questions? Okay, some of these questions you actually ask them from when you're getting to know yourself, but sometimes it get more serious when it's now official. So,
and I think people make mistake. I think people actually make this mistake of waiting till you start dating this person before asking those questions. And then when you're now in the middle of the relationship, you get confused. Oh, what should I do? I'm ready to meet this person. I don't want to seem like a bad person.
Yeah.
So you can avoid that by asking the right questions while still trying to get to know the person.
Exactly. And if you don't learn, or you don't start off, talking about things and asking the right questions, it becomes difficult, because that's already becoming like from the precedence for the relationship. And I think for us from the start, our first conversation was, what was the upbringing like? We had asked questions like, what was your previous relationship like? Why did it end? So we already had insight in who the person was, what dating means to them, So having said that, let me just randomly just throw out some questions that I think you should ask is, what does marriage mean to you? Because either way, it's the journey. The reason why you're dating is to get married to the person. So you want to know what
their views.
Yeah, what the very view about marriage is.
Because you'll be surprised as to how damaged how damaged people see marriage. Because a lot of our parents are not the exact models that.
Yeah, for what
models
a good
of marriage,
home, it looks like.
Exactly. So a lot of people actually have that damaged view about marriage. So that's very important.
Because the Bible says, can two walk together except they agree, so you want to make sure that this...
I'm not that movie. There's a movie like that, sorry.
So you want to make sure that this person's expectation and view of what marriage is the same as yours. Because you'll be surprised that the person is thinking entirely different from you. So I think that's one important question. You want to ask, what's their view on marriage. Number 2 is you want to ask them what they think the role, what the role of each party is. Are there gender roles or are there no gender roles? What do I mean by this is, is it a case of it is the woman that must cook? If she's not available to cook, then everybody goes hungry. Who cleans? You want to just generally have an idea, because a lot of times we tend to go into marriage with the idea of our parents' marriage. And we know that, so most of our parents, maybe not all of us, but this idea where the mother will kneel down, bring a bowl of water for the father to wash, then it's only the father eats 2 pieces of meat or 3 pieces of meat, things like that. So you want to know that, is it the same way? Are you expecting me, like, I know we love each other, but are you expecting me to make sure that I cook fresh vegetable for you every day? Then I must kneel down to serve it for you and things like that. Why are you looking at me? So you like, and this part of expectations, this part of expectations in marriage, you want to know things like this.
But I was having a conversation with someone, and then it's like, the person actually asked me, I was like, oh, how does it feel being married? Are you not tired of this person already? Are they not always in your space? And my reply to her was like, this is what I always wanted. This is what I've always wanted. Like, I actually love it.
Yeah.
Okay, Toby's moved. Am I moved gun body or you? I don't know, but I feel like it's a beautiful thing when, this person is in your space and all that. Some people are actually very uncomfortable with that. You'd be surprised. She was really weird. She was really shocked when I said, oh, I love it. And then she went ahead to say she has a 9 to 5 and she even wants to get busier as time goes on. And then she doesn't want a man that works from home. She wants a man that also has a 9 to 5, that both of you are leaving in the morning, or even leaves before you, and when you come back he's tired, you're tired too. And I'm like, are you thinking of yourself alone? What about your children? Who is going to attend to them? Because I think that's very important. And I think that was one of the first things I actually talked about, where I was like, I think it was more of me growing up and saying, my dad used to travel a lot. My mom was the one that was basically always available, not always, because her job was tight, but she always fought for her time. And I said to myself, if I have a 9 to 5, I didn't always want to have a 9 to 5 really, but oh well, money has to be made, right? So I said, if I have a 9 to 5, I'm not going to be with someone. It was a non-negotiable for me. I mean, it might seem little, but it was a non-negotiable for me. I wanted someone that had control of their own time. I'm like, if I'm busy, I don't want my partner to be too busy to attend to children. I think it was Pastor mentioned something like that in the video he posted today. And I think that's very important. People have crazy ideas, so
and this is part of both of you letting yourself know what your expectations and projections.
Exactly.
I remember growing up, I used to say that I can't marry a banker, someone that works in a bank, and not because I hated someone that works in a bank, but just because my mom, she used to work in the bank. She retired as a bank staff, and what that meant was, at that time, things were more even analog. They're not digital now. So she literally comes home every day by 9:30, 10 p.m. She was an amazing mom. Weekends she cooks what we're eating for the whole week. So we didn't really feel it so much, but because I'm the kind of person that I always want
food you're focusing on.
that's the cheapest or fastest example I can use. But I'm the kind of person that I want to always see you. Like I'm a gun body that, so I'm just like, you know what, that can't be my wife. So it's important to set this expectation. But I think it's important to mention that sometimes you don't have the luxury of this at some point. So to a lot of times, like twice last week, you got home before me.
Yeah.
Because I was at the office. Sometimes I leave the office when she's also on her way home. So we've had times and cases where she actually gets home before me also. So sometimes you might have to, maybe when you're together, you're both working, but you want someone that is available. But do you have a projection? Do you have plans? So you can just say, no, this is a 5-year plan. This 5-year plan, let's push, let's make enough money so that to afford us to have that kind of life. So sometimes you might have to make such decisions.
Okay.
What other questions to ask?
Yeah.
When is the point to ask about your past?
I don't think
it's important to ask about your past.
Yeah, it's important. You said when is the right time?
Yeah, when is
the right time is when you're still trying to get to know the person. Obviously, the person is not going to be 100, vulnerable to you and tell you literally A to Z of their past. But yeah, before you start dating is the right time.
Yeah, because you don't want to start dating then that's like, oops, sorry, I didn't bargain for that. So these are questions to actually ask before you start dating. Right.
Yeah. Okay. So I think let's move on to the next.
There's still a lot more questions, but at least
there's actually you
quite
can think
a lot.
of. I think you get your important questions from your non-negotiables.
Yes.
So, and that varies. All right. So I think our next point is negotiables and non-negotiables. Oh, that was a good introduction. Yeah. Negotiables and non-negotiables. I feel like this is personal. I'm not going to dwell on this.
Yeah, I'm not there on this.
It's personal. You know what? Like I said, I didn't want someone that was working a 9 to 5 and didn't have control over their time and all of that. And that was a non-negotiable for me. That might be a negotiable.
I didn't know actually. I didn't know about that.
But I was sort of implied it. So my very first discussion when I talked about being a housewife and I talked about having time for kids and all of that. So that's very important to me. Have time for your children. Don't bump picky and abandon them. It's unfair. It's unfair. Okay, so that's personal. You know what you want. An example of a non-negotiable for a believer is I'm not going to be with an unbeliever. Yeah. There's absolutely nothing to contend with that.
Yeah. So for someone wondering what's negotiable or non-negotiable, is simply what are the things that without question that they're deal breakers? What are the things that this person will say, do, act that will make me just say, you know what, I'm out.
That's it.
That can be different things for you. Mm-hmm. Some people want someone that's very family oriented. If I see them treat their family or they don't care about family or they're not even attached to their family, then I'm out. That's it for some people. Some people, I don't care as long as it takes care of me. So know what is important and make sure that they are right. Yeah.
Okay, so our next point, boundaries.
Yeah, ready.
Yeah. Cause so we're going to answer questions that I think you mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, you have questions we're going to answer.
We had a Q&A session on our
page. Just a few questions that relate to what we're talking about today.
Anyway, so boundaries now. What are in a dating relationship?
I want to ask a question. When should we talk about boundaries? When did we talk about boundaries?
When did we talk about boundaries? I think we talked about boundaries before we started dating.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we talked about a lot of things like before we started dating. I think that helps with our dating stage.
Maybe we're shocked that in 2 months, 3 months of just knowing yourself, you're already certain that you want to date each other. But I think for us,
Are you sure you wanted to marry me?
Yes, now.
Oh, before you asked me out.
Yes, now.
Oh, guys.
But it's because we spoke a lot, a whole lot. So we kind of almost knew everything about each other. Like at that point, we're almost best friends, So.
Okay, so boundaries.
Okay, now let me give some background.
But I don't think we answered that question. Let's talk about it before you start dating, because you don't want to get into a relationship and then the person is like, I'm into everything apart from sex, So.
Or I'm dating, I'm committed to you. Why can't I?
Yeah, why can't I?
Have sex with you? So.
You said that to me before.
So so what was boundaries like for us, and how do you navigate it? I think this is just a whole full-length video in itself. So we'll just touch a little.
You scratch the surface.
You just scratch the surface.
Like
now.
Did you get that?
Oh my God. One thing that helped us is we had same ideas of boundary. I think it's tougher for dating couples when
you're not on the same page.
When you're not on the same page, it's tough. When one person just want to hug, but the other person want to, smoosh and kiss and all those kind of things. Which is why back to marrying a believer, not just any believer. I think for us, it was the word of God is our final authority. So it doesn't matter what our personal preferences were. Once we sit in God's word, we submit and subscribe to it. So I think that helped us. So we don't need to voice it to know that some things were no-go area for each other.
It wasn't exactly easy.
No. Oh my God. It wasn't easy, which is why we also set some boundaries and some rules, And
what are examples of the boundaries?
So first thing is, I remember when we started dating, I was the kind of person that had worked in an office where all my staff stayed over, both male and female, and because there's nothing happened. It wasn't like a question.
So she told this man that was body be firewood.
But because I had that and I'd run an office for 2-3 years, so it wasn't a big deal for me to staying over. Wasn't a big deal, as compared to some people,
Well, I stopped that from happening.
So
sometimes you'll be so tired and I'll be tempted to say, okay, we'll just stay over.
And for context sake, I was driving mainland to island to see her.
So, actually used to feel for him, but
so imagine I'm at her place by 10:30. I'm just like, for God's sake, let me just sleep over.
Let me just advise you, don't be staying that late.
Yes.
Because it encourages.
Absolutely, But I think sometimes.
And if you're not a hard guy like me, you're softer than me, you would have.
Yes, this is another point I'm going to say, but no. Then, so from get-go, she told me, "Babe, you're not staying over." And she was very strict about it.
And I actually didn't do that for me. I did that for him.
Yes, because now this leads to the next point: is know your partner. A lot of times when you know your partner, and because you care about the person, I know some people know their partner just to exploit their vulnerability. That person does not love you, does not care about you. I think I told her earlier, I said, see, my hands are wandering hands.
Even before you said that.
You had seen it.
So, not even your hands,
Yeah.
I felt like you're a touchy person.
Yeah.
Not because you touched me, but, totally see me, just wants to hug me. Or, it was just, I saw it.
Physical touch was one of my love languages.
Yeah.
So she had seen that. So she was just like, see, if I'm going to help this guy, and if you're going to actually maintain our boundaries, then we needed to, don't stay over. She lived alone, I lived alone. That was one. Another thing is, which also was also me to her, is she had told me one day, she was like, see Tolu, I like rubbish. We kind of fit each other, but what that did for me is he also helped me to help her. And I think this is a very important point, is be conscious and sensitive. Like, let me go back a bit. I think the first important thing is ask yourself, why do we need to keep healthy physical boundaries? Is it just because you don't want to get pregnant? Is it because you don't want to get pregnant? There are ways around that, many ways around that. Or is it because you don't want people to see us? If you're just two of you in your room, nobody is seeing you, But you have
God is seeing you.
Yes, so you have to have, your why must be stronger than all the resolve not to. Let me give an example. Joseph, when Joseph was when Potiphar's wife, Joseph, there was nobody to catch Joseph. There was nobody to.
He would have done that and continued to do it. And nobody would have.
And even the situation was even at his, pushed him not to do it. Mm-hmm. But he said, how will I do this thing and sin against God? So God was the result for him. And I think that was what it was for us as well. Even though, for God's sake, I kept 30 years of, for this. It wasn't easy. Oh my God. So I wanted to unleash. All right, focus. So, and of course, this is not saying that we were perfect. We were not perfect, But, so back to the point, so why it needs to be strong? Because the reason why your why must be strong is the days where all your guards will be down. The day in which all your James Bond will not work for you. That will remind you, So, back to the point is know your partner. That there's some things that are your partner's weaknesses. Just stay away. There are ways in which you also know that, man, this person, there's some play, there's some play that goes. Why are you looking at me?
I'm just listening.
Okay. There's some, you play fight, or you're just folding clothes and pushing each other. Then before you know it, you're on top of. You're playing, and if you spend time together a lot, you would think to happen, So let's say you're folding clothes or doing things, and before you know it, you're playing and you push each other, push out on the bed or push out on the chair, and you're on top of her, and before you know it, her eyes is already doing one kind.
I don't know, I'm picturing it in my head like Hollywood movie.
This happens for you.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah. So it's just being sure your guards can't be both down, which is why you have to agree on boundaries. So
yeah, I wanted to add something else, but I can't remember.
But general boundaries is, no sleeping over. Some people say don't see each other. See.
And I think as much as possible, try to see each other outside of a confined space more often than inside.
Is that so realistic? You lived alone, I lived alone.
So for us, we actually saw, maybe because I'm more of an introvert than an extrovert.
Yeah, both
so
of us.
we saw each other.
We hung out more indoors
than outdoors.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's everybody that can actually.
Okay, I agree. So, another rules or boundaries to keep.
I want to just.
See,
the Bible is your guide, really. Yes, exactly. So, and have someone you're accountable to.
Yeah, I think yes, have someone accountable, because I had friends that would just ask me, guys, Alpha, things like that. So you know that I know if you lie, and
I feel like Jodip is that.
No, that's Jodip actually. Then I think the last point I want to give is set your boundaries as high as possible. So because people have asked us, oh, can you kiss? Or can you do this? How far can you go?
So I think my answer to that is, people that ask that question is, what happens afterwards? Your hands go wandering.
You don't.
So it doesn't stop. You don't start kissing and then it stops at kissing.
Yeah.
It might stop at kissing the first time. It might stop at kissing even the fifth time. But as time goes on, you're dating this person for even if it's just for 7 months, do you think you just be kissing every day continually? It's going to go from there to something, extreme. It might not eventually lead to sex, but at the end of the day, sex is not the only ultimate sin, or not sin, or quote and unquote sin. So it's better to refrain.
So just keep your boundaries as low as possible. Like, don't try to see how far can we go.
As high as possible, you mean?
Yeah, as high as possible. Don't just say, don't play by. If you play by the riverbank, water goes splash up. You enter. So just
get drenched.
And you will enjoy this thing later. Like, nobody will take this from you. So just
Yeah. Okay. So
I think this deserves a full video on its own.
Actually,
we'll touch on
it's
it
a lot, and
like
I
deep
think
dive and practice.
what can help is we don't know the questions people actually have out there, so we can just do a Q&A
on this subject. Then we'll be more specific.
So moving on, our next point is conflict and conflict resolution. I think for us, we didn't fight as much. We didn't quarrel as much. We had our disagreements, we had our differences, but it was never serious. Yeah, it was never
I remember, I think
drama like
I think one of the mentors asked me, I was like, have you guys fought? Have you guys had any arguments or disagreements? I'm like, no.
Like nothing extreme.
Of course, we piss each other off. Maybe someone has been waiting, or maybe we were planning to set a time that someone's running late, or someone forgot to pick something. We had all those little things again, but there was never
any major conflicts. And then I think times that we, even up until now, I'm dramatic. But even up until now, when we have arguments, and obviously we fight more now. Of course, like my space.
Oh my God, it's a pretty fight.
Oh my God, yes, that was before. Oh my God, how can I just forget that? I think it was after he proposed.
Yeah, I think so.
So we're actually fighting a lot. I remember I wrote in my journal. It's not a crime to have a journal, anyways. I don't know if you're weird for having a journal, but whatever. So I wrote down in my journal one time, like, I don't know what's going on, but we've been fighting. We're actually quarreling a lot. Little things. It was crazy. Nah, it was actually crazy.
Of course.
But I can't remember. I think it was just pressure.
Yes.
Wedding pressure.
Oh my God. Wedding planning pressure and stress.
Everything. I think I was frustrated. Apart from wedding planning, the fact that I think I was having this mental breakdown. The fact I was going to move from Ireland to mainland, and then I was working on the
islands. Sure, just be doing mainland,
and then facing that traffic. I'm facing 4 hours traffic in a day, nothing less than that. It's been crazy, but thank God for strength. So I think that was part of it. Please don't hear me, I'm tired. But that was part of it. It was everything, like seeing that my life was actually going to change, majorly traffic. But even up until now, I think no matter how bad it gets, I think we always talk things out.
Yeah.
And Tolu actually helps a lot with that. I can't take that. I can't take the credit. I cannot take the credit. Sometimes I'll just sit down and just
lock up.
But not lock up per se, but sometimes it's just difficult talking about these things. Like, it's difficult, but I don't know. Tolu makes it easy. So. All right, so moving to our next point. I
think just one thing that generally helps with that is always prioritize your partner. Because I remember, let me give an example. I remember one night, I can't remember what happened. I was angry. She did something that made me angry. Then she got angry because I was angry. Now I'm just like, have I not known that I'm supposed to be angry? Yeah. Now she's angry. She has, she's on the bed. She has turned aside. She's going to sleep. And I'm like, I want her to realize what she has done, But I'm just like, if you keep this, you guys just go to be like this and nothing will happen. So I had to just say, babe now, babe. Then hold that from the back. Like, oh my God, these creatures are very, very complicated. What she wanted was just hold me, and I did, and she was like, hey, so what did you do? Then she now used style to apologize. And when you prioritize the person, it's easy, so you're not insisting on your rights, you're just not insisting that, the goal is I care about this person. So, of course, that's not to say you should always ignore signs
Of course,
or major,
yeah.
like if something needs to be addressed and dealt with, if you've had that one, like see this one, you won't cute your way out of this one,
But just,
address and talk
I
about
think-
it, but do it with kindness.
I think the
and
right,
love.
the right way to summarize that is understand that I love this person more than this argument,
Yeah.
more than this quarrel.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah. Which leads to next point.
Yeah. Our next point. Did we ever at some point
Yes.
think of any relationship?
Go first. I want to hear your answer. Because we talked about this before.
I'm trying to remember if there was ever a time that happened. I think it was when we were fighting a lot. Like, I can't remember why. I don't think it was even wedding pressure. But there was a time it was really crazy. Let me check my journal. But I can't remember if I actually thought of
Check the journal.
should we end this?
Well, I'm not paying that privacy screen. I can't see it.
Yeah, it was actually in January. That was even after we had gotten engaged. I don't think I considered breaking up with him, but I mean, it was crazy at that time. It was crazy.
The reasons were they? I'm very curious.
No, I didn't put down the reasons. I just Okay, so I think one of the major issues I had with you was the fact that I joke a lot. I'm a very jovial person. Yeah, and Tolu used to.
And I'm a very serious person.
Yeah, I don't like. He confuses me. One moment he's laughing, and he says a lot of dry jokes as well. And I bring up my own joke. I say something silly, and he takes it to heart. I'm just like, fam, what's wrong?
So I'm an overthinker. You're right. So a part of me is thinking, is it a joke? Is it serious? Especially when the room is already tensed, or I think she wants to say something and she's not saying it. So I'm like, is it a joke?
I think you are just very sensitive. I think it's even better now. But
yeah, now we understand each other better.
You felt like I was indirectly saying stuff I didn't want to say to your face.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no.
So
I actually want to say something.
It's not that I'm not a very serious person. I'm a very unserious person. Let's be sincere.
Sometimes now I like, yes, of course, that's a true statement, but and then
I think we're still getting to know each other, which simply says you have a lifetime of knowing yourself, which is why the foundation needs to be strong.
Yeah.
And of course, not sweeping things under the carpet. Dating for us, like we did a little of the things many people used to do. Like we didn't have, how many dates do you have before we got married? 2. One was the first one was that Chinese restaurant in the island. Yeah, and the second was at my house. Very romantic guy. So we didn't have so much fancy dates, and stuff. But we had many times of just being with each other and just talking. Watching movies and arguing about it and saying who did right. So that gave us like a real life perspective. Then we had like working out together. Mm-hmm. Yes, we had the exercise. So,
and
anyways.
I think another thing I said was, I said, and I quote, you say you like being corrected, but you argue and make the person correct you look like your enemy. I put it like that, my child.
Why am I just saying this for the first time? But that's so true, babe.
But wait. Even after we got married, when we're arguing about, washing feet and all of that, and then you're like, oh. No. Even times. But even times I say, oh, you're like, okay, what's your tone? How you say it? And I'm like, oh, okay, this, that. And then you just have a way of just arguing instead of just saying, okay, I'm sorry. So Tolu will not say, okay, I'm sorry.
So I'm just kind of person
that... He will just give excuses. I'm like, Tolu just say sorry.
I'm just kind of person that I like to make sense of everything. And apart from that is, before you accuse me of something or before you say I've done something wrong, I want to make sure that you've actually seen it through my lens. So for instance, if you come and say, Tolu, you didn't wash his face and everything, what? Did you realize that I actually ran out of the house? I didn't plan to leave the house, so I planned to do the laundry, but something came up and it was emergency, and I had to run out of the house and literally just go back to the house together. But then you just go back and just use the mind of, what does it like we're doing? Guys, forget about this. All right, back to the video. So yes, I think it.
But for you, was there ever
a time I considered
you felt like
don't be too much? No, I don't think there's ever that time, because the start of the relationship was very, very, for me, it was very intentional. Like you said, I was asking, like it was as if she was going through, like, I'm looking for, maybe like she was being vetted interviewed for like maybe
assistant president,
or maybe like even army or armed force or something. So like I wasn't joking at all.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad, but
and then when you're asking these questions, I think it's very important to that, because you actually made me feel that way. Let them know that, see, I'm not putting you on the spot. Like, this is just me trying to case. Like, make them as comfortable as possible. I don't think Tolu, did a great job at making me feel. Because I think I told you.
That was not a lot.
And then when I try to answer your questions, I'm not type to lie. I'd rather not even tell you stuff. Even stuff that you asked me, I didn't want to lie about. I told you, I don't want to talk about it. I'm not going to tell you this now. But this is the basics of this is the surface. And all of that. And I remember times that sometimes I'll be speechless, like, what kind of question is this? And instead of Tolu to just make me, calm down, he will not say it's a serious thing that, there's no perfect. Do you know what you say? There's no perfect answer. I just want to know.
Okay.
And like, you always sounded so stressed. I'm like, fam, what is this?
I don't think that was it.
I'm saying, I'm not saying that was it. I'm just saying like that was.
Okay.
So yes. I think that's pretty much everything that we wanted to.
Yeah, I know this video is not all encompassing. We intentionally left some part out, like meeting the parents.
I actually felt like I actually removed that because I felt like meeting the parents should be part of.
So we do another video of planning
engagements, planning the wedding, and then the wedding. So.
I remember when I went to first meet my dad. Oh my gosh. All right, so on our Instagram page, if you're not following us on Instagram, follow us on Instagram.
At the Oluta Boss. Oh no, I think we should answer the questions here first.
Yes, so
someone said, how do you deal with age difference?
Yes.
I think that is actually pretty simple.
Should
I say, I don't want to say how much older you are than me.
We can say that.
But he's way older than me.
Yeah,
not up to 10 years, but
not
less
10
than
years.
7.
Yeah,
so it's a lot, but I think he never made me feel like, you're a child. He never made me feel that way. He never made me feel like, I'm saying this because I'm wiser than you and the authority is fine now. He was never bossy, or even to you now, and I think I've had someone complain to me about their older boyfriend, and this person was I think the guy was 4 years older than her or something, and the guy was bossy and all of that. So age difference is not. It's not an issue. It's not about the age difference. It's about this person. Yes. Is this person bossy? Does this person see you? Does this person respect you? Does this person even respect your opinion?
Yeah.
So
like, does the age difference, is it obvious in your interaction?
Does the person push it to your face that, I'm older than you? I have a friend that actually broke up with this guy because this guy was always putting, the age difference. Every argument, like, how can even, or they are joking, I can say, you are not serious, or press your nipple or do something, and then it's like, do you know?
My nipple has suffered. Yeah.
And then it's like, am I your mate? From where to where, uncle? Like, you're not my uncle, you're not my daddy, you're my boyfriend. You get, so
yeah.
Those are the things.
So I think next to that also is, can you actually also relate with each other?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Tolu is a millennial, I'm a Gen Z.
Yes, but then and I'm still pretty much in touch with many Gen Z stuff.
I was quite in shock, but whatever.
Oh my god.
I used to call it 30 plus all the time.
Yeah, so I think the age difference doesn't really show, because to me, a lot of time I forget how young she is because she's mature. I remember how young she is when she's being cute, and not that she acts old.
I feel like you're saying being
say
cute,
that.
but you're saying you actually mean something else.
Oh yeah, I mean something else. But
is it when I'm begging for ice cream?
Focus. So yeah, and even this is everyday stuff, when we talk, when we're making decisions, she doesn't act like a baby. She's very mature. Like I said, she's the
I act like
most
a baby sometimes
mature.
when I want to cry, I'm tired.
Of course, those are the times those shows. So it's never an issue. It doesn't change how I relate. This is someone I love, so loving her means prioritizing her need. It means caring for her, me covering her excesses and all that, so I don't think age difference was an issue for us. If it's an issue for you, that's fine. I've seen people that say they can't date on this is younger than them or this older than them. That's fine, whatever rocks your boats, that's fine. Just be sincere about it.
Yeah, and if you're with someone that is way older than you and they're treating you some sort of way, it's not normal. Family,
Yeah.
I think it's just best to let it go. I don't know what better advice I can give you, but okay.
And also the cases where people use their age as excuse for some things they're supposed to work on. For instance, he's way older and doesn't communicate well. I'm always busy. I'm on the phone. No, I don't like pressing my phone. Like, they won't change. So all the things you see, that's how they're gonna be. Except they intentionally work on it. So if they're bad at communication, it's not about their age. It's just who they are. Because there are people their age are not like that, and people way younger that are also that way. So don't use your age as excuse for flaws and excesses. Just work on it.
All right. So next question is: at what point should sex be discussed? You have the floor, sir. You have the floor.
I think sex should be discussed at every stage of the relationship, but at different levels and depths. It's okay. You want to know the person's ground on premarital sex before you actually agree to date the person. So you don't wait till you start dating till you guys are not boyfriend, girlfriend, and after I say boyfriend, they now remove clothes and they want to uncle, what's going on? You want to know, and there are different ways to also ask without being direct. You want to ask what was sexual intimacy like in their previous relationships. You're talking about sex, you want to ask when you're talking about sexual boundaries, what are the no-go areas for you? What are the boundaries for you? You're talking about sex, Then I believe that once you now know that, we're dating and we are working towards marriage together, then you want to start knowing in depth. I asked that one day, I said, what's your take on oral sex? I wanted to know, because I wanted to know. All right. So talk about it at every stage of the relationship or at different level and different depth. Because
it's not something you should dwell on, because
yes.
Get curious and
not to the point of now start, let's go together. What sex position do you like? Or no.
That's extreme.
No, that's extreme. Don't do that. Just don't go so explicit that you expose yourself to temptations and to fall, or even to the person to exploit you. So
Okay, so the next question here says how
to navigate differences. First is you have to come to the point to agree or believe that the person will not be you, because that's the issue many people have it. Oyinda is not me. We're two different individuals. So because many people are not prepared for that, so when they realize that the person is different from them, then there are many things that we do differently. I'm trying to give a random example. She's a very finicky person. I'm a very disorganized person. So what?
I'm just happy there's watching a dating when this in public. But continue.
Should I say? So the summary is, when you realize the person's differences, then measure it against your negotiables and non-negotiables. If you notice that the person is very loud, very violent, and you are a very calm and gentle person, don't say, "Oh, opposites attract." It's just opposite. He's saying, "Will this person beat me?"
That particular sentence has done more harm than good.
You get. So, how do you negotiate? How do you navigate differences? Evaluate the differences. Is it a flaw? Is it something you need to work on? If it is, it's fine. Is it something you can live with for the rest of your life? Another thing I made a video of this is, will you still love this person unconditionally if this never changes? You know, not should you love them, like not just accommodating it, saying, "Oh, I will love you." Is see, my non-negotiables stands, but does it matter? You know, is it? Anyways, you get the point. Is it non-negotiable?
You wanted to talk about the statement you made that it does more harm than good. Opposites attract.
Okay, yes.
It has done more, like I said, it has done more harm than good. And I feel like, I actually think it works. Like, whoever you're going to be with, I feel like you guys should have more, more things in common
than separate. Yeah.
So I think that is very important. I don't know where people got this opposite attract thing from.
See, I and Oyinda, if you ask us questions about like life, faith, the relationship, like vital things, ask us separately. You will almost give the same answer. Yeah. So when it comes to values, when it comes to how we view life, when it comes to how we view people, how we view family, we think the same. You know, like this is one of the things that will click from the very beginning. Get our differences is she presses toothpaste from the bottom, I presses from I don't care. You know, she must sleep at the outside part of the bed. I don't care anyway, you know.
I feel like he's wherever is close to the restroom, Sha.
Oh my God. You know, I don't care. And also this difference is kind of also click, you know, because imagine she was the press from bottom, I'm the you must press from the middle. I don't care where you press it from. So it was easy for me to start pressing it from the bottom because, you know, for the sake of peace, because that's what's important to her. I must sleep at this side of the bed. I'm like, I don't care. Let me just sleep. You know, so these differences, they were not deal breakers, but they were things I could accommodate. You know, so yeah.
Word. All right.
Yeah. So
I think we have more questions.
Yeah.
There's little or no time, so I feel like some of these questions, or most of them at least, we'll address them in our next video. That's a Q&A.
Yeah. When you ask necessary questions during friendship or courtship, both, you know.
Staying away from
sexual stuff to marriage. I think we've spoken about that, but I think we'll actually make a separate video where we'll go deep dive into that.
People give excuses to other people. Like, my friend was telling me how that, she wants to stay celibate and that she's not ready for the premarital sex and all of that. But the guy she's with, he's an amazing guy, he's an awesome guy. You know, he's still working on his faith, this and that, but he has a different view about marriage. He's indifferent about it. This person is indifferent. We drag you to their side.
Yeah.
Best believe it.
Yeah.
So you just best to, like we said, be on the same. I think we already elaborated.
Yeah, you know, I remember talking with my friends, and one thing we said or we agreed on is that thing of it's harder, not impossible, but it's harder for two dating partners to maintain a sexual boundary when one person is more exposed. Excuse me.
Bless you.
So imagine he has been having sex, or she's been having sex. All our relationships, like it's no big deal. You want to stay celibate, you know, till now the two of you are dating. It's not a case where God has touched his heart, or he has read the Bible and now he opposes. He's not saying, okay, I'm not doing this because you don't want it. Or there's high probability that he will keep asking about it, or it will keep coming up. So you want to make sure that you hold the same value, like you have the same ground and the same stance on things like this. You know, not one person trying to like drag the other party or push the other party. You know? So
yeah. There are actually a lot of other questions, but for the sake of time, I think we'll just address. There was what I saw. The one I saw just now, getting over a painful breakup or something like that. I don't understand that. But I'm not going to answer that now because I think there's a lot to actually uncover.
Yeah.
And it's something I've personally experienced, and it's not something that I think we should get into right now.
Yeah.
But
there are quite a lot of questions that we'll touch later.
Yeah.
Setting conflicts with your partner, how to know the want and introducing to family.
Perks of dating a pastor, a man of God.
So I think we'll make a video now.
Yeah.
David, this is a man of God.
That might even be later on because
See a man.
Actually.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Out.
Oh my God, let me answer that question a little bit. So when I was after you actually asked me out, I took a while before.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, it's a pastor. Not just because it's a pastor, the responsibility that comes with all of that and being in the spotlight. And I called my auntie, the one that's married to a pastor, and she's like, the same thing you said was what she said. She was like, oh, a pastor is still like a man of God is still a man at the end of the day. And everybody sees Pastor T as Pastor T, but I see Tolu.
Yeah.
Yes, so
which was one of the very important things to me actually when we started dating. I saw how quick she was able to see through me. I've been with people that it was difficult for them to
get over
the fact that this is pity. But for her it was easy, like time she was calling me Tolu, and not with that, there was no disrespect.
Not with a sense of disrespect.
Yeah, like because I still saw the honor she had for me, as a pastor, but I still saw the friendship and the closeness she had with Tolu, and she felt that she actually related with me like a person. Like, for course, it can be bad. So yeah.
Yeah, all right, I think that brings us to the end of our
video this
today.
Particular one. Sorry, we just kind of ran through it randomly.
Actually, I enjoyed today's video.
You did?
A lot, yes.
For me, I felt it was very random.
No, not random. I just feel like we're able to talk about relatable stuff.
Okay.
The people actually going through and facing and answer important questions. So
yeah. Our next video will be talking about meeting the family.
Before the next video, we're going to do a Q&A.
Okay, yeah, we're going
answering these questions. So after that video, then we'll now do planning.
So ask all your questions in this video, in the comment section. Ask us all the videos. Send us DMs on Instagram. Ask all your questions, and we're going to answer as many questions as possible. Like questions that relate with dating, actually. Like our last two videos, knowing the person is the one, and dating the person, the dating process, every question you want to know, what to do, what not to do.
How do you navigate through this and that?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like ask us all the questions. No questions beyond answering.
Asking and answering.
So of course we'll try.
All right, so that brings us to our original and final end of today's video.
All right.
Thank you guys for watching.
Subscribe. Many of you guys are watching but not subscribing.
Not subscribing, so fair.
Just subscribe.
Are you going to make me cry? I mean,
don't make this beauty.
All right, so please
like,
subscribe, share. Don't forget, please. As you are watching, subscribe. Give us a thumbs up.
So definitely, the Love Is Blind series is coming much later because we'll do.
Yeah, there's still a lot to do before that.
Yeah,
So.
I will meet parents, planning the wedding. They see the honeymoon video. So. And
I saw one of the questions someone asked was, wedding drama. How do you deal with it? All right, thank you guys.
Hey guys, love you.
Bye.